This is your life, Ruby Fernviller, Navies and back. It was a beautiful April day, the 21st day, in the year of 1927. The sun was shining, but the moon refused to go down. For a little northern town called Gasconade, Big Wind was about to be put on the map. The 230 people and 660 dogs, and even the 300 cats were out on the town square. People who had not been out of their houses for years at this time were on their front porches with their eyeglasses washed up for the big event. People were on their street corners, on the church steps across from the Wiesenbach house. The Wiesenbach bootlegging business was closed for the day. Mrs. Maltensmeer, who lived across the tracks, was spreading the news from house to house that she had seen the town midwife Rosie Schwennes go in the Wiesenbach house, and that half an hour later Mr. Waterman and his girlfriend Nurse Pauline O'Keski was seen going into the Wiesenbach house also. Ruth, Roy, Dot and Helen were seen going down the street to the home of Grandma Jet, who said, "Why don't they cut that man? I don't want them moving in on me again. I just got the house cleaned up from the last kid being born." This goes on every 2 years. Cut that man's business parts off. About 2:30, Dad came home from the tavern. He came to Grandma Jet's and said we had a little sister and we could come home and see her. Daddy said take a seat on the front porch. "If Mom says it's all right, I will call you." Ruth was mad. She said she was getting tired of taking care of kids. Dot said I hope she doesn't eat too much. Little stingy Helen said she is not going home with me and Grandma Jet and play with my dolls. Roy wanted a brother. When Dad said it was a girl, Roy wanted to drown her in the rain barrel. We called some of our friends to see the new baby. We thought she would be like a baby puppy, born with her eyes closed. There she was, all eyes, blue, looking all over the house. 1 year later a baby boy came to our house, June 27, 1930. We call him Bob. He lived up to his name. He was into everything. This was the meanest damn kid that ever drew a breath. Even Roy, who wanted a brother, thought of drowning him in the rain barrel and keeping Blue eyes. Actually, the only thing that got drowned in the rain barrel was our old cat. Bob baptized that old cat every Sunday during the regular church service. All the time the blue-eyed baby girl was getting a few pounds on her. Mom dressed her out. It only took a half-yard of goods to make her a dress, and she didn't eat very much and didn't like Helen or her old toys. Roy would kiss her when we wasn't looking. We all decided to keep her even if we could see through her. But she didn't make the big time. She sang at the Hermo Theater in Herman and won first prize. P.S. We all had ice cream night Fern Street. We now call her Fern. The song was The Man with the Black. Well, right then and there we knew darn well we were going to keep her, and Roy turned over the rain barrel and poured out all of the water. Yes, and we still have it out back, Bob. Stingy Helen and hungry Dot and old boss Ruth, who thought that Bob was hers, and Roy, who was pissing outdoors on the roses when Fern was about 5 years old. We went out of business bootlegging, and Mom had opened up a boarding house for free boarders, heard west, but Ruth was still boss, Helen was still stingy, Dot was hungry, and Roy was once again pissing on the roses. Ruth married to a man and she didn't even know his name. Aunt had to live with us sometime. If she wanted a dress, we didn't eat too good that month. Aunt had us living in the dark. She didn't use the money to pay the light bill that Ma Jet gave her. So off went the lights. Ma Jet always said that Mom Alta would go blackberry picking in her best dress and silk stockings. Helen was still so greedy that she took candy from the baby Fern. and Dad always stole Grandma Jet's silk drawers to wear to school. Once again the blue-eyed baby was the only one who had any sense. We moved to Possum Hollow, as usual. Helen stayed with Ma Jet. Ruth, Dot, Bob and Fern went. We had to take the tracks or go up the river by boat. By this time after a long hard winter we had moved to Gasconade. Daddy was always getting hurt. Dot and Ruth were married. Ruth married for a winter coat. Dot married Floyd, a bootlegger's son. Guess that Dot would never have gotten a man cause she had a winter coat. One morning her dad caught Floyd coming down the river in a ice block. Dot and her dad went out to get him and Dot put her claim on him right there for her daddy said this is your last chance. Poor little Floyd did not have a chance to get away. On September 4, 1937 he was taken in front of the Justice of the Peace in Linmo where he said, I do and I will. 52 years later he still works pretty good. Helen was on the manhunt. So one night when the couple decided not to marry, the preacher asked if anyone wants to get married to come forward. Helen stepped up with another fool, both said yes. Helen later married a preacher who washed all her sins away. Bob was still a man about town. But when he ran out of girls in the U.S. he went overseas and married and got himself a ready-made family. But good luck returned to him back in the good old US of A. He now has a boss and 2 kids. Once again back to that April baby which didn't turn out to be April Job. She was put out to work at the age of 12. We did let her keep 30 cents out of her pay each month. The rest went to pay store bills. One day they let Hero to St. Louis to work. There was good luck for her. She went to work for household plastic for a guy named George Miller. A tall, slim, almost black-haired, pearly teeth. A darling young man of means. She decided to marry him the night she found out he was a man in gas. For one night when he was sleeping while they were parked in his car in the Kroger parking lot, he let it slip. They passed about a gallon of gas and cooked his goose. After they were married she told him, you know how I know you were in gas? You know the night we were in the Kroger parking lot and you let it slip. That you were in gas. He said I won on you, I wasn't sleeping. So the next thing the man of leaves knew, the baby Fern was sitting on his lap taking notes, and the next thing he knew he was in his car on his way to her home in Gasconade to meet her tribe. The whole family came for dinner. The big Sunday dinner chicken, potatoes and all the fixings was enjoyed by the tribe. But poor George, he got nothing at all. So that day he found out why his poor baby was so thin that you could see through her. So right there and then he made a vow to take her home and fatten her up. And that guy always keeps his word, so they now have 6 little Wilmers.